Okay, welcome everybody to our Zoom Interactive, an audience with this evening, Leonie Moukodi, and it gives me great pleasure to be her host this evening. My name is Carol Edmondson. I am part of Business Action Momentum Enterprise with the acronym BAME, and most Saturdays in the month, we actually run these interactive Zooms. It's an opportunity to learn what our female and male, if they decide to come on, entrepreneurs do, and authors as well. So welcome, and Leonie.
Thank you.
We have Leonie Moukodi. So as we start off, I will say, welcome everybody again, and Leonie, tell us a little bit about who you are. How did you come to be doing what you're doing now?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I take it most of us are ladies that I can see so far. So good evening, ladies.
Oh,
Thank you for taking. Oh, of course, my friend Lloyd is here. Hello, Lloyd. Thank you for coming on. It's absolutely brilliant to be here tonight and to be sharing with you. My name is Leonie Moukodi. In business, I'm known as Golden LuvLee Leonie. Golden because, like Carol, I believe in saving in gold. It's the way forward. Tell you a quick story. A few months ago, just before lockdown, I had a call from my bank inviting me for a review. I said, okay, it's been a long time since I've been into the branch. I'll come in and see you. And they said, Leonie, you've got some money sitting on an ISA. Do you know that you're only making 0.5% interest on that? And I said, no, I didn't realize. I thought it was more than that. And he suggested that I opened a new account, a new savings account, saving my pennies. And I said, what an excellent idea. I'll do that at 1.5%. Ooh, I was excited. Opened this account at 1.5%. And then about a month later, no more than that, I received a lovely letter in the post informing me that unfortunately, my new savings account will no longer be offering me that fantastic sum of 1.5% interest, but it will be offering me 0.5%. And I kissed my teeth and I said, ciao. I just could not believe it. So when I got another letter a few months later saying, you're going to go down to 0.01% or something silly, I just laughed till and put the letter in the bin. And I remember when I was at university back towards the tail end of the 70s, one of my professors said, the best way forward for people is to save in gold, to buy gold. Well, at that time, as a young girl, and in fact, that same professor had said, Leonie, I was Leonie Ewan at the time, you will not be getting a good degree out of us at Nottingham University. Back in those days, there were fewer universities and you had to work very hard to get into one. And Nottingham was one of the better ones. And he said, you won't be getting a good degree out of us. You're black, as if I didn't know that. You're female, as if I didn't know that. And this I didn't know, you're working class. Well, I nearly fell off my chair when he told me that. And I thought, okay. And my attitude has always been, I'm going to show you. You tell me I can't do something, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to say, I'm going to show you, and I will move heaven and earth, if at all possible, to do that. And I made sure I worked hard during my 3 years there. And at the end, I didn't get the degree I expected to get. And none of the lecturers were available. So although I had paid for my graduation, I didn't attend the ceremony. I booked a flight and went to America instead. And I was just so angry. I was so disappointed. And that further fueled my desire to go into education, to make a difference in the lives, particularly of our Black children, and to help them to realize that, you know, at the end of the day, we come from a great heritage. From I was a child, I'd been influenced by my Pan-Africanist father to feel good about things African. That's probably why I'm married two of them. No, I didn't set out to look for African men to marry, but it just happened to be that way. But my experience of racism in Britain, and it's funny because although I came here as a child of 8.5 years old, I didn't experience much racism growing up in Birmingham. And I think that was because I went to a school that was a third, a third, a third. And the black girls in our school, we held our own. We were in the top stream. We were in athletics. We were there. The only thing we didn't do, we didn't swim. And there was only two black girls in the orchestra in the whole of the school. But we did everything else. We were on par. We were up there. We did things. And in church, I was extremely active, very, very active in church and very active in the community. So I didn't feel in any way inferior to anybody. So when I went to university, I was told I was working class. It was a shock to me. I thought the working class white people that I know, they don't dress like me. They don't carry themselves like me. They don't keep their house like how we keep our house. And so I was a little affronted. However, when I didn't get the good degree from them, I realized, you know what? If this has been my experience, what is the experience of others? And for a number of years, my ex-husband and myself spent time fighting for the corners for Black students who were just being deliberately awarded lower grades than they'd earned. Because again, my own experience, back in those days, the degree I read, nobody got a first class honors in my final year. A 2-1 was the highest. And when I applied to do my master later in the year, and I went for my interview, the university I went to, in fact, it was the University of Birmingham I went to read my master's, I was asked, Leonie, what does your referee mean when he said, should have got a 2-1? I said, I really don't know. I expected to have received a 2-1 because my statistics paper passed with distinction. My dissertation was a first class honors. The aggregate of all my marks meant that I had a 2-1 there. So I couldn't understand how suddenly I was awarded a 2-2. And that prompted me to phone my referee after the interview and go back and ask him. He said, come in and see me and I'll tell you. And he told me something that really pained my heart because it was something I couldn't do anything about. But apparently quiet mouse like me, and I was very quiet at that time, determined, but very quiet, had upset a member of staff because she had quoted some incorrect statistics. Now the university had a policy where we had to work in the community on a Wednesday afternoon or do something sporty, and I chose to work in the community. And so I worked with the Racial Equality Council, and I was aware of all the statistics on immigration and emigration and all of those sorts of things. And she quoted in a seminar that the numbers coming into Britain from the Caribbean and Africa had gone up exponentially. And I said, no, that's not correct. You will find, and I've repeated the statistics that I'd read just the previous day. And she said, well, you'll find that you were wrong. When this person, the head of the local REC in Nottingham, come in the next week, you will find out that you're wrong. And I said, okay, no problem. When he came in and confirmed what I'd said, and I'd phoned him up and said, please bring the literature when you're coming. And he did. And he confirmed what I'd said, but I just read them, so I knew them. She was very bitter and she made sure she held it against me. And the university awarding body used that to downgrade me because she said, if you give Leonie the 2-1, as a Black student, I will resign. And so that's what happened. And because of my own experience, when other students came to me telling me similar stories, I said, you know what? Enough is enough. And I took the gloves off, and my ex and I, we fought and we wrote letters and we did all we could. And a number of students had their marks and grades upgraded as a result. And thank you. I have always championed the cause of underdogs. Always. It's part of my makeup. I don't like to see people being taken advantage of, but as a result of that, you then often get taken advantage of. Because as my children say, Mom, I think people think you see mug written on your forehead because you buy into any sob story they will tell you and will inconvenience yourself. Yes, there are some bad people out there who will take advantage, but for every one bad, there are 10 good. So I'm encouraged and keep doing what I'm doing.
And your children,
how did
sorry.
I get, sorry, Karen.
I was going to say, and your children as well, they actually went through university and got their various degrees?
I consider myself to be a blessed woman. My first marriage failed for all sorts of reasons. I naturally would blame the man, as you'd expect me to. But I was blessed, and God enabled me to raise three amazing young people who have done me proud. Two girls and a young man, two daughters, I should say, not girls. They're big women, and one of them has made me the proud grandmother of two lovely, two beautiful grandchildren. But they did very well. They went through university and they did well. And so I also get a bee in my bonnet when I hear people knocking lone parents, and particularly lone mothers, because sometimes we weren't single, because I was still very married, but I just didn't have a husband, living with myself and our children, because he had chosen to leave the family home. That was his choice, no problem. After crying for 1 year, thinking, Lord, please make the man come back, because I was brought up in a Black Pentecostal church that said you got married for life. So when my husband decided he didn't want responsibility and he left, I was naturally very upset and very concerned. And after 1 year of crying, I can remember where I was kneeling in my room and I heard a voice say, stop crying, dry up your tears. And I said, thank you. And I put on my boxing gloves and I went out there ready to face the world and to make sure that my children got the best out of life. So raising them as a lone parent was challenging, but they got everything I wanted them to get and I didn't have. But they weren't spoiled, and they will tell you that. They were not spoiled. I was very strict. And if I said no, it was no. And no blinking of the eyes or throwing a tantrum. They weren't allowed to throw a tantrum. What's that? I could throw a better tantrum. But I'm blessed, very blessed with my three children. They all went to university and have done very well for themselves.
Do you want to say what they do now?
What do they do? You know, people always ask me this and I never know grand titles. My baby, my son, is 30 years old. He read a degree in architecture, finished it. And again, we sometimes underestimate the amount of racism that some of our boys experience. He did that, completed his degree, got his degree. And then after a while, he said, Mom, I don't want to do architecture anymore. And he'd always been into acting. He's also a drummer. He'd also always been into acting and doing something on the side. And so he does a bit of that. He does some work as a civil servant, and he's still a musician. He still plays the drum. When he was growing up, rather foolishly, because he'd break up the children's drum kit that you buy for them because of his interest. And so when he was 11, I made the mistake of buying him a drum kit, an adult full, however many pieces of drum kit. And I never had lampshades in my house because just the vibration and the force with which he knocked everything, I'd always be amazed that he could stay in his room and break every lampshade around the house. But now he's a drummer and he plays in his local church and he plays with a gospel choir in Madrid, Spain. So prior to lockdown, he was going to Spain regularly to play at various concerts. He's played for Spanish royalties, he's played with various gospel greats and all sorts. So that's my baby. My second child, my middle daughter, is very much like me. She works for a firm of solicitors as a recruiting officer. That's my jargon. It's got some posh name that I don't remember. And my oldest daughter, she read, what did she read? She read statistics and mathematics and German at university and managed to come out, God is good, with a first-class degree. I think she got the brains of her father and my parents, because both of them are number crunchers and love numbers. So Grace now works for the Bank of England.
Wow, wow. Amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Well done. Congratulations.
God is good. God is awesome. And that's what I say to parents. It can be a man or a woman, a mother or a father, raising a child on your own. Don't give up. Believe in them. You know, cry when you have to cry. And sometimes there were days when I went to my room and I bawled. I didn't cry, I bawled, but it was because it was hard. But I was blessed too. I've got very supportive family. My sibling, particularly my sisters and my mom, they were there for us. And, you know, I remember when I was doing the same in fact, no, it was a different master's program I was on. And that time when I was still with my husband and he refused, he thought he was going to discipline me. Me, big woman, he might go discipline me. And he said, you know what, I'm not coming home, so you can't go to college. And I said, no problem. And I phoned my sister's home and her husband answered the phone and said my sister was going to be out that evening. And I said, okay, because I was going to bring down the children because I've got college. And he said, no problem, I'll finish early. And he was an electrician at the time, self-employed. And he went home so he could look after my children whilst I attended my course at uni in Walsall, University of Wolverhampton. And I was very moved. So I've been blessed with good family support, and that does make a difference. It makes a difference. Now, Carol, how did I get to where I am? I've always been entrepreneurial, always loved making things, selling things. And from I was at school, I was working with various community projects I grew up in Handsworth, you know. I remember when I went to university again, when I would say to the student, they'd say, oh, no, which part of the world are you from? And I would say, who, me? Handsworth in Birmingham. Look up at them. Don't tell me if you say so. Guess what? They would then look at me aghast as if to say, can any good thing come out of Handsworth? You're in the wrong university, surely. And I would have a laugh about it afterwards. But I've always been involved. And one of the projects I worked with in Birmingham was on, I think it was Hall Road now. I was driving past there last weekend and noticed things had changed significantly around that area of Lozells Road and Villa Cross and that area. But I worked with a Rafiki House, a project helping young mothers and with creative crafty things. I love knitting, sewing, crocheting, making things, weaving, and all sorts. So we teach them these skills so that they can do things to help look after their children. And that I did for the community as well as for church. We're always fundraising for church. I used to say our church didn't allow us to go to the pub to have a drink. Even if you wanted water, you couldn't be seen in a pub. But we could go in to beg money to help build our new church, which is the Aberdeen Street Church in Winson Green, for those of you who know that part of Birmingham. And so one activity led to another, and that led me on to working with two amazing companies that creates balance in our lives, balance in our bodies. And those two companies are Vox Life and Zinzino. And now I'm going to read it because I'm not going to trust myself to stay on point. So I'm going to be reading something to you about our products because I think they're amazing. I've been into health and nutrition for a very, very long time. And people will say to me, Leonie, you're just too particular. I remember when I started eating raw veg, my sister, who now lives in the States, used to tease me and say, you know, Mommy did teach us how to cook. So why are you eating the food raw? And I'd say, it's better for you that way. Eat as much as you can raw. And sometimes, you know, she would laugh and ridicule me, but now she's come around to my way of thinking. The first product I'm going to talk about is Vox Life. And one of our strapline is feel well, live well. Vox Life combines the best of modern technology with decades of research in neuromuscular science to help you and me achieve our wellness goals drug-free and without invasive treatment. Some people I know pop a phenomenal amount of pills. If you're doing that and you're worried about taking supplements orally, this is the product for you. It starts with a special tactile pattern, and I apologize, I should have brought something in from the car to show you, and I didn't. Known as Vox HPT, which stands for Human Performance Technology, this pattern is specially woven into each of our wellness and performance products. Contact with it triggers a neural response in the brainstem that helps manage pain as well as improve mobility and balance. Trigger a response. When you wear one of our products, our socks, our insoles, our patches, contact with the Vox HPT pattern triggers a neuroresponse that sends information from the receptors on the bottom or the soles of your feet or the inside of your forearm to your brainstem. How does this affect the body? After processing that information, the central nervous system distributes commands to the peripheral nervous system, affecting various functions in our body, from pain regulation to motor control and balance. Feel the difference. The effect is instant. And if you saw a demonstration, and we've got several on the internet, ranging from improved balance, mobility, and pain management to better energy level and recovery process. Ultimately, a happier, healthier life. And you know something, I can testify of that. Just prior to lockdown, I was visiting my second daughter, who now lives in Lichfield, and her husband. And you know, nowadays you don't wear your shoes in a people's house, including mine. And I had taken off my shoes and I was going to get a pair of slippers, and she saw my toes and she squealed, "Mom, what's the matter with your toes? They're gone black." And I looked down and I thought, oh yeah, you're right. Yes, I had noticed. And she said, "Have you gone to the doctor?" I said, "No." She said, "Please, Mom, make an appointment and see the doctor." And I said, "Okay, I will." And then I forgot. However, around about that same time, I'd come across Vox Life as a company, and with a view to helping my mom and her arthritic pains, I bought into the company. And I thought, let me start to wear a pair of their socks to see what. And so I started to wear a kaleidoscopic pair of socks. And about 2 or so weeks after wearing it, I was creaming my legs one morning and I thought, weird, my toenails have gone back to normal, especially on my right foot. My big toe was back to normal. And I thought, wow, something's happening. And that same Tuesday night, I was going to a meeting after work in Birmingham with the company. And they were talking about the fact that it improves circulation. So I went to the back of the room, sat down, took my boots off, and some people were looking at me and thinking, what's she doing? What's she doing? And when I looked at my toes, I thought, okay, that's what's happened. It's improved my circulation. And that really fired me up. And we do a range of products. We do something that will help you sleep better, a patch that can improve your sleep, improves your appetite. We cannot make claims of healing or anything like that. We don't have that right. But I can say in my experience, I have heard numerous testimonies of people being helped to sleep better. Their brain functions much better when they wear the patch. And we've brought out a new sleeve that is just absolutely incredible. I work with an 8-year-old child who has, you know, they love to label our kids. They say he's autistic, nothing wrong with the picnic. He's just, nobody didn't say no to him and meant it and not shouted at him and just say, no, you're not doing that or you're not having that without changing their mind. So the child, if he doesn't get his way, throws a tantrum and he refuses and all those sorts of behavioral issues. And I was working with him on Wednesday of this week and I said, okay, I'd like you to wear this for me. And you know, for the length of time the child wore the sleeve, he sat and did the work I asked him to do. But the minute he took it off, he got up and started wandering around the room and being silly. So I think it works. It really makes a difference.
Sorry, sorry, did you say sleeve?
Yes, it's an e-sleeve. We can talk afterwards about it, right?
Sorry.
So keep my details or leave yours in the chat and then I'll contact you afterwards, Carol. But it creates better balance and mobility. You can gain the postural stability needed to maintain proper balance and footing for greater range of motion, and it reduces the risk of injury. I've known people who have put the sock in their shoe, the insole in their shoe and worn a pair of our socks, and they're no longer falling over as much. So if you know a senior citizen who's having balancing issues, this is the product for them. It increases your energy level, it enhances pain management, it aids faster recovery, and finally, it improves your neural health, okay? So that's Vox Life for you that I'm doing, and I'm very excited about it. And a product too that I'm equally excited about for more reasons than one is my Zinzino business. And Zinzino is a wellness company based in Sweden, and it's listed on the NASDAQ, which is the Northern European Stock Exchange. We're a test-based company. How many of us have taken supplements, and that includes myself, over the years, and you take them for something because you think something is wrong with you or you need that particular supplement, but you don't know exactly what your body needs. However, Zinzino is a flagship company, and it's a test-based company because it allows the body to evidence whether or not you need the product, okay? So Zinzino has a commitment. If you do a spot test, it's sent away to a lab in Norway where it's tested, and it's an internationally known lab. It's not Zinzino. The only connection with us is that they test for our clients or potential customers. If your blood comes back stating that your body is in balance, you won't need the product and they will refund you. If, however, it comes back, and 95% of us need the product. I'm a health coach, and I used to pride myself on eating very well. I ate most of my vegetables raw. I juiced, I did all sorts. And then I went through a patch, and in fact, that's part of the reason why my gap got a bit wider, because I'd gone for about a 2-mile walk, got back home, and I'd normally take water with me, but because I was only going to the letterbox to go straight back home, I didn't take any water. But I was out walking and enjoying it, and I kept going. I walked, I came back home, and my late husband, he passed away a couple of years ago. He was sitting in his car on the drive. He had got cancer and he wasn't feeling well. That's why he didn't go with me. And he said, I stood outside talking to him when I returned from the walk. And he said, Leo, rather than standing out there in the cold, come on inside in the car, because the sun was shining on the windscreen, so it was really warm in the car. And I went, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which way shall I go into the car, from the front or the back? Had I gone from the front, he would have noticed something happened to me. But I went to the back and I never appeared at the other side of the car. Many minutes later, about half an hour later, I showed up at his door covered in blood. I'd blacked out, and when I came to, I was sitting in the kitchen, blood running down, and saying, what happened? What happened? And he said, Leo, I don't know. You just appeared at the car window covered in blood. And this man was in pain from his cancer, but he jumped out. He said, I don't know where I got the energy from, but he jumped out, cleaned me up, and rushed me to a local hospital. And where I had to go, I was cleaned up, checked. They couldn't find what was wrong, so I had to go to a bigger hospital then for more checks. And so I knew something wasn't quite right, but they couldn't find anything wrong with me because I had a relatively healthy lifestyle. But the long and short of it is, I came across this product, and since I've started to take it, my memory has improved, taking the balance oil. I can see better. I wear glasses, and sometimes for days I don't wear my glasses because I can see so much better now. And it's done amazing things for me. But I'm going to carry on. Our flagship product, Zinzino Balanced Oil, that I've just mentioned, and it comes and it looks like this. This is a 300 milliliter bottle, but you also get 100 milliliter bottles as well. This Zinzino Balanced Oil has 18 health benefits that are approved by the European Food Safety Authority. Firstly, it helps to maintain normal brain function, and I can vouch for that. It also helps with normal heart function and gives normal immune function. And there are 15 others that we are allowed to quote, but they're on our website, or I can share them with you afterwards. Our 3-step Zinzino Health Protocol gently balances our cells, restore our gut microbiome, and boost our immune system. So again, the products work together. Our lean shake helps you to lose weight, and many times when we lose weight, we become flabby. But this product helps you to build muscles, and it balances your gut. It is high in fiber, protein, and is packed full of 25 vitamins and minerals. Tell me, where else will you find that? Our skin serum is not a cosmetic product. It works in conjunction with the Balance Oil and Extend, which again is our multivitamins, to increase the skin's elasticity and reduce blemish within 60 days. On our training, we show the face of a young man, and you know, some young people come up in terrible, terrible acne and spots and rashes. His face was very, very pockmarked, very blemished, and very painful as well. But after 6 months of taking the oil, the Extend, the multivitamins, and using the skin serum, you wouldn't know that he had a skin issue. It really helped to clear it up significantly. And last but not least, how many of you ladies suffer, and gentlemen, suffer from sleep deprivation? How many of you are stressed about one thing or another? I think I heard someone mention that they're stressed, they're having to make decisions. This product, I don't know if you can see it, Zinzino Viva Plus. Viva is an absolutely amazing product. I didn't get stressed easily, but when it came, after years, because there were many times in my younger days, and I know I don't look a day over 21, ladies and gentlemen, but we are past that long time. But I know that in my younger days, I would do silly things. And I tell my children off now when I find out if they do that, I'd go on 2 hours of sleep and get up again and start doing things. And I prided myself on that because I think that superwoman, you know, bionic and all that. I now realize I was destroying myself, but God is good. He's given me another chance. This product is absolutely amazing. It'll help you. It's spa for your mind. I'll read what we say. It wraps you in luxurious comfort, melts away the occasional stress, and helps you to feel rested. First thing in the morning, if you're a person who's got a stressful lifestyle and you have a stressful day, pop a couple of Vivas in your mouth. You can take between 1 and 8 capsules a day. It'll make a difference. It'll help to keep you calm. Are you deprived of a good night's sleep and you want a good night's sleep? And that was me. I could go to my bed and lay down, and 2 hours later, I'd be wide awake. So of course I'd get up and start to do things. Not good. What I've noticed, I take, in my case, most people take 2 Vivas. I needed 4 because my body was so used to being awake. But once I've taken 4, within 10 minutes, I'm off. And I'll sleep through the night. I used to wake up every 2 hours or to go to the toilet. Now I sleep for 6-7 hours and I'm fine. And that makes such a difference. So it promotes a good night's sleep so you can get a deeper sleep naturally. It's the next generation nutrient. It's formulated with Afrin, made from saffron. It's greater than gold. You know, saffron is gold color, and saffron, interestingly enough, is more expensive than the price of gold. It helps you to live happy. Saffron is nicknamed the sunshine spice. Our Viva will improve your mood. The color of the capsule, the saffron, will rub off on you and you will become, I think, a picture of sunshine. So if you want to live a healthier, happier life, I can recommend these products. And our products, the Balance Oil, come in 4 different flavors. It also comes as in a vegan form, and also an aqua version. Not everybody can digest oil easily. And so we have a Balance Oil that can be, it's called Aqua X. It can be mixed with juice or water and therefore is more palatable for the folks who can't digest who can't digest oil. Okay, so thank you. I've rambled on a bit and I've spoken about these products. I'm passionate about them because I think we need to look after ourselves, especially us women and mothers. We spread ourselves so thinly and we're always giving, and we don't make time for ourselves. But I think we do need to make time for ourselves, to learn to sit down, cock up your feet, and don't be embarrassed at putting up your feet. Because all our lives we've worked hard. Some of us, especially those of us who are the oldest daughters, we are burden bearers. And I think we need to look out for ourselves now. And if you know someone who's a burden bearer, tap her on the shoulder, invite her for coffee. You can socially distance over a coffee if you're not in a restricted area. Let's start looking out for each other. Give her a ring from time to time. Tell her how special she is, how amazing she is, how good she looks, you know? Because as Black women, we look at things, my lips too thick, my gap too big, my nose too broad. Girlfriend, people are paying good money and making themselves sick to look like us. So we should own it. Thank you. Carol, would you like to ask me any questions, or anybody else?
Oh my word. Actually, observation, Nana. Is that your daughter who's just jumped on?
That's my second beauty.
Yay! Welcome.
Hello, Nana.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I first met Leonie. We shared the same stage in London. So Leonie is a public speaker as well, and I was speaking at the same event Leonie was. So that's how I came to know Leonie. And, you know, in the fly, it says she's a woman of true grit, because she is, as you've heard this evening. And, you know, we've just remained close friends. Love her to bits.
I love you too, Carol, but don't tell your husband.
What you see is what you get. Yes,
Carol, I'm not sure I like the way you said that, darling. Do you want to take that back?
What I mean is, you know, she's a woman who will speak her mind and is not afraid to do so. So yes, it's Leonie joined the Business Action Momentum Enterprise, and for those who are not aware of what the group stands for, we're a group of like-minded individuals who strive to make a positive difference within our community by working collaboratively to deliver support to Black, Asian and minority ethnic businesses and communities on a local and national level. So involved in the Jamaican diaspora, and also the founder of Business Action Momentum Enterprise is also, I think is the chair of the Black Workers Unison Group. So yes, yeah, there's so much going on. We have a website which is bamebusiness.club. And Leonie, I think you've put your details on there. I think you gave them to me to put on.
I did, Carol. Did you put them on, Carol?
If you gave them to me, sweetheart, they would be there.
You are very efficient, so I'm sure that they are there, but perhaps they do need updating now. So that's, I'll check that.
Yes, under the merchants tab. So yes, so it's, well, any questions for our Leonie? You can open up your mics and feel free to ask any questions from what you've heard so far.
I just asked
Anna, would you like to say how wonderful a mother I've been?
No pressure.
Not.
Can I just ask a question, Leonie, in regarding the Vox, and does it support women with menopausal problems?
Yes.
Nice.
I would like to say yes.
With the excessive sweating, and especially us as Black people, we are low in iodine, and therefore we have thyroid dysfunction. And I'm interested in health because health has been I work in health anyway, and health has been part of my remit all these years, health and social care. Yeah. And I know we have low thyroid situation that causes us problems. Either we could be overweight because of low thyroid dysfunction, or we could be hyperactive with it's not balanced. Yeah. So I'm also dealing with menopause because a lot of my friends are saying, people I know complain about, belly fat. Not because they're eating excessively, because of the menopause, we do as women, whether we are Black or white, it doesn't matter our background, we have problems with belly fat as well as facial hairs. And a lot of Black women, I know a lot of women, is so because we're going through that menopausal stage and all these things. Either the progesterone is too high and the estrogen is too low. There's not a balance. So what I was asking you is regarding the Vox. Does the Vox deals with any of these issues that?
I would like to say yes, it does. The technology in our products helps to create balance from the outside in. And so I've heard people say amazing things.
Sorry to cut, is the fact that a lot of our women, black women, we have no wombs because that's due to hysterectomy or the full wombs taken out with the some of them we're only having one ovaries and no womb. They're taking out all the womb, leaving 1.5 ovaries, causing so much hormonal imbalances and headaches and excessive sweating. So just when you were talking about about the Vox and how Vox can balance, I'm just wondering how can the Vox balance these conditions that we are experiencing.
It's the technology.
Pardon?
It's the technology that's in the product. Many years of research and millions of dollars have been spent looking at a technology, and it's been created by someone who started life working in the nitty-gritty of computers. So he knows this stuff, and he's created a product that works with our nerve endings, and it sends certain messages to different parts of our brain to address issues in the body wherever there's imbalance. It works. But if, Dorrit, we can talk afterwards, and I can send you some patches, or one of your ladies, maybe about 3 patches to try and see. But I can also talk, because I went through a phase where I noticed I was getting a lot of facial hairs. But since I've started to take the Balance Oil, I was thinking to the other day, oh, my tweezers nearly become redundant because I'm no longer beginning to get as hairy as quickly as I used to. So yes, there are things out there, and that will do it naturally. And I can definitely vouch for the oil as well to do that. But for people who don't want to take the oil, I have heard other people talk about the effectiveness of the patches. And we do a range of patches that will help with diet. We're not officially saying you will lose weight, but that has been people's experience. It's helped some people to sleep better. It's helped with hormonal issues and regulating sleep patterns. So yes, there are things out there. And yes, but we're all made up differently. And I, for instance, found that after a few weeks, I was remembering, because I'd got to the stage, my mom's 83, I'll be 63 in December. And I'd go upstairs for something, and I'd get to the top of the stairs, and I'd say, no, Lord, what did I come up here for? And I'd walk around upstairs, and I'd then go back downstairs. And then when I get downstairs, I'd kiss my teeth and say, sure, because I'd remember what I'd gone upstairs for. And I'd go back upstairs, and by the time I reach upstairs, the phone ring or something distracts me. I'd forget again. And I'd think, Lord, this is not funny. And it got to the point where I was writing.
Sorry, excuse me.
But what I've noticed is that, and in fact, let me tell you this bit about my mom. I'd be speaking to mom in a lengthy conversation, as you do with your mothers. And then halfway through, I'd say, Mom, what was I saying again? And she would tell me at 83. And at 62, me couldn't remember what I was going to say. And I've noticed that no longer happens. And I attribute that to the oil, because it does create balance. It helps the body. It feeds what needs to be fed. And it just sorts you out internally. So both of the products, and I think they complement each other.
Right, okay.
Sorry, have we finished, Dorrit?
Pardon, sorry. Go
ahead, Dorrit. Oh, sorry, have you...
no, sorry, it was just that I forgot to mute my phone. My apologies.
That's okay, my love.
I can't even get back to the thing, hold on. Yes, sorry, I forgot to unmute the phone. My apologies.
Fine.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, I wanted to know about the Vox and what it will be able to do.
Okay, we can talk afterwards.
And how it regulates menstrual a woman's menstrual cycle and
You know
things
what?
like that?
Yes, we can talk after all, because I'll invite you to a presentation that you can hear other people share their experience and tell you more in depth about the products.
Right, okay.
Okay, my love. So
Okay,
please
thank you.
leave
I
your
will
details.
connect you too. I will connect
Lovely.
both of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Efficient Carol. Was it the other Carol who wanted to say something?
Yes, the Zinzino oil. Did you say it's all plant-based, or it's just I'm recently gone vegan where I've cut out all of my red meat and my cholesterol is 3.9, the LDL. It's never been this high, and I think with lockdown, I've been consuming more cakes and less exercise. Do you have anything, or would it help with the reduction of the LDL, or which of those
I'm sure the balanced oil will. We have one for vegans that's a little bit more expensive than the oil. The oil is made from small fish, and then polyphenols in the form of green baby olives is added, and omega-3 is added to the oil. But we've also got one, as I've said, for vegan, and we've got another one for people who cannot tolerate oil. That's the Aqua X that you mix with water. So yes, I am convinced, because I've seen what it's done in my own body. I've seen the difference in me. And yes, I empathize with the lockdown bit, because I was just putting on a dress and I thought, ooh, I don't remember this dress being so fitted when I put it on the last time. So I understand that. I think, if we were able to get together maybe once a month and go on social walk, maybe as a BAME group of women, that would be a good thing for all of us, to get together, to get to know each other, to share, because I think as Black women, we don't have enough support groups and supportive activities. Now that we're trying to support each other in business, that's fantastic. But I think socially would also be nice, and not on occasion where you have to dress up. Sometimes we have to dress down as well. Put on your trainers and let's go out for a walk and do cool things.
A ramble.
Yes, that's right. And once a year we can, or twice a year, 3 times a year, we can do the dressing up bits. But yes, please, we can talk.
Event. Sorry, yeah, you've got the event. Okay, so you will let me know when.
Yes, we can talk afterwards, because I'm acutely aware that our time on Zoom is. Carol, you're Madam Chair. Over to you. I was going to say.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yvonne, did you have any questions? Or Grace? No.
Or Nana.
Or Nana?
when I see her, I'll speak with her later. She'll critique me very.
Yeah, she's got direct access to you.
She's ever so good at that.
Oh, sorry, Yvonne.
Sorry, I was going to say, because Leonie mentioned earlier working with a young man who is autistic, who's on the spectrum, and the sleeve helped to keep him calm during the session that she had with him. And I just found that very interesting, because I'm an educator, and I come across children who are on the spectrum and the behavioral issues that are surrounding, and impacts how we interact with them. And I just found, and I will make contact with you. I know I see your details in the group, so I will contact you where that is concerned.
Excellent.
Not just from an educational point of view, but from a parent. Yeah.
And the diet of our children is very, very important. And I know, I look in people's trolleys and I'm horrified as to what parents are buying for their children. Even this young man, after he took the sleeve off on Wednesday, he said, "Can I go and get a drink of water?" And I said, "Yes, of course you can." And he went and he came back with this turquoise colored liquid. And I said to him, "But that's not water. It was some kind of juice full of E numbers." And you think, well, we wonder why they're a little bit off the wall. Too many E numbers, too many additives. Most of them don't drink water. If you know any young mothers, people say don't give babies water. Boil the water and give the child. They need to get used to drinking water, whether you buy whatever kind, but they must. Too many children are just sweet things, fruit juice, pop, you name it. They don't know what water tastes like. They think water's for having a wash.
If they do. Yeah.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
It is sad. But yes, ladies, we will talk. We can talk afterwards. I'll be happy to share with you.
All right. So,
Madam Carol, do you
anyone
have any more
else?
questions you'd like to ask?
I haven't got any more questions for
And got
you.
it, Carol.
Leonie. I know you're passionate about what you do. And we've got Cynthia on, but not sure if Cynthia wants to come on.
No,
Given
she's
the
delicate at the
circumstances.
moment.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
Son, as it were.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So praying for the family, Cynthia. All right. So if there are no further questions, most of you are part of the Bain group anyway, so we've got access to each other. Dorette, I will connect you with Leonie. Probably set up a WhatsApp chat for the both of you, so you can communicate that way. And all right, so thank you everyone for attending, and enjoy what's left of the weekend. So
Well, it's a bank
wonderful.
holiday.
It's a bank
one, so we
holiday.
have an extra day. We're
Yeah.
grateful for that extra day.
Lovely to meet you, Leonie.
Each day is a bank holiday for me.
Oh, yes, Carol, it's all right for some, isn't it, darling?
Yes, all right.
I don't do the 9 to 5, you know.
I know, darling. Of course not. You are blessed and highly favored.
Indeed.
Can I just ask a quick question? The
course.
company being in Sweden, and have you met them and have you visited the
I've met on Zoom. I've met them on Zoom, and we have had virtual tours around the offices in Sweden. And in fact, if you go on my website at the bottom, it gives you access, because they're listed on the stock exchange, all their data and figures are there for everyone to scrutinize. During lockdown, they have almost doubled, because people are recognizing the need for healthy supplements, the need to boost our immune system. And so our sales have gone through the roof. But we do have office, a depot, I think it's in, is it in Milton Keynes? They have bases in the UK where products are shipped from for those who order it. And the company, they are in the whole of Europe. They're in Britain. They came to Britain earlier this year, I think it was. They're going to South Africa. Most of East Asia, they will be going into this year. And some of us are pressing for them to go into Jamaica. They're in, obviously, the US and Canada. And if you have family in the US, the Americans always seem to bargain and get better deals than the rest of the world. But I guess it's their buying power. But if you know people in America, they have some very good offers for the American market. And especially in New York, I noticed that some of our products were New York got offers. And I guess it has something to do with the death rate of people in New York during the pandemic. Cynthia's reminding me that I haven't talked about the test. I mentioned it at the beginning. The test, thank you, Cynthia. The test that we do, it's you for those of you who deal with diabetic people, you sterilize, you get a kit, and I don't have one to hand, which is, Cynthia, you've slipped. You've not left me a test kit down here. The test kit basically comes in a box, just a little bit wider and a little bit thinner than this. And everything you need to do a self-test is in that box. You do the test and you send off the kit. They provide the envelopes that you need. You post it off to Sweden. It cost about £1.42. Not Sweden, I beg your pardon, to Norway. Within about 10 to 14 days, they will send you the result to see whether or not your body is in balance. And the balance it's looking for is the relationship between your omega-6 fatty acids and your omega-3. And they're called essential fatty acids because they're essential, but you can't get them any other way except through your food and supplementation. And therefore, She's telling me where to find. Thank you, Cynthia. I'm at Cynthia because of her bereavement and that, so that's why I'm not in my own house. That's why she's telling me where things are at, and I should have been better prepared. I should have brought in my stuff. But you can do the test very simply and very quickly, and you send it off 10 to 14 days. The result is back. It checks your omega-3 ratio, omega-6, omega-3 balance. And we need both in our diet, but we should ideally be 1-to-1, but 3-to-1 is acceptable. Many of us, though, and myself included, I went into shock when I saw what my balance was. My balance was 19.3-to-1. And I thought I was doing all the right thing. So obviously, sometimes you look okay, a bit like the iceberg. You only see that much on top, but the bulk of it is underneath, and things are being destroyed and things are happening. And so that's why it's important to take the test, to see where you're at, to see what your health is. Something else too that made me sit up was it showed that my cell walls were thick. So waste couldn't come out as easily, nutrients couldn't go in. And as a consequence, I put that down to explaining why I was not feeling my best when I was doing my best to be healthy. And as you can see, I'm okay now. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. And I'm so pleased, ladies, too, that you are wanting to do something to improve your lot and the lot of friends and family. So well done, but that's what we've always done. Well done, and keep doing it, because we have to look out for the race. Sorry, Madame Carol.
I just wished, because your oils, you say, are from fish. I'm not a fish eater. I don't do fish burp.
We have got a product made from just algae that the fish eat, and that's the vegan one, the vegan balanced oil.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got the aqua one that I mentioned that you mix. So those who can't take oil at all, you mix with water. So yes, Carol, we cover all the bases, darling. We cater for all eventualities. Okay.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, it's been a really insightful evening. It really has. And I was looking forward. In fact, someone else should have been this evening and they couldn't make it. And as soon as they said, apologies, they're not able to make it, I rang Leonie, yes. Do you want to do this Saturday? And, you know, I told the founder and the vice chair that I would like to do the hosting for you this evening. So I'm glad we're actually able to bring it to you this evening. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Carol.
For
it's
your
been a
participation.
Thank
Alrighty.
you. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you for your insightful questions.
Wonderful.
Thank you, ladies.
I'm
looking forward to catching up later.
Excellent. I'll say bye for now. Lovely meeting you, Nana. I've heard a lot about you.
Yeah.
She gets her beauty from her mother, doesn't she?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she does indeed. Yeah.
Oh, Grace.
Oh,
my goodness.
My granddaughter.
Hello,
darling.
My word. Wow,
Hello,
we are being treated this evening. That's fantastic.
Definitely. Thank you guys for coming on. Bless you.
Oh,
where's my grandson? Is he shy? You're muted, Grace.
Okay, we're just off to bed now, so good night.
Okay, my love. Good night.
Good night.
Bye, Lexi.
Okay, bye.
Lovely meeting you as well, Grace.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Beautiful. My daughters are pretty. They've not got the beautiful gap. You see, they're missing out.
Wonderful. Oh, that was so special.
Yes.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you. Well, Grace is gone now, but thank her for jumping on as well. Yes. Oh, gosh. So I'm going to stop the recording now. Okay. So stop record.